Welcome to Amazing Grace SG Church Missouri. We are having our first VBS for the year 2023. Despite being the first VBS in this year, it is our very first VBS since this church was started. I'm Matthew Keno, I'm the children ministry leader. We are hoping to have a very wonderful VBS that is inspiring and that is going to educate the children during this period and after. I thank the parents who have allowed their children to come to this video, the church as a whole, who gave us that opportunity for VBS. Also, our teachers and our guests are going to help us through with the teachings that we are supposed to get through this VBS. I will not forget to thank God who has enabled us to have this session. This year's VBS is Eden, our redemption story. So it's going to speak much about how humans are supposed to be redeemed. So welcome and be blessed.
My name is Sophia Otori. Um, in this VBS session, I was taking the kids through to a diamond class. The diamond class we were doing all about craft activities, and that's why we were making things using our eyes to see and our hands in doing a lot of creativity. And that's why even when we were studying about creation, we had to make a creation wheel that goes round and making the kids to learn more about creation on day 1, 2, and 3 up to on the seventh day when God rested. And on the second day, we also involved our hands, activities on our hands and our brains, in even making so many things in our creative class, like the snake. We gave the kids to be more creative on how to make snakes by themselves. On even when we were making and learning more about Noah, we made a craft on how the rainbow and how it symbolized. So by making these, it helps most of the learners. By doing it and sticking even the animals, they will be able to remember and they won't be able to forget easily. And even we learned about the butterfly cycle, whereby the craft activities showed us on how a butterfly starts from an egg to a pupa, a larva, and an end of an adult butterfly. And this helps the kids to understand the concept easily by doing it, by coloring, by making the crafts to be more engaging. And on the last day, we were able to make a creation cube. When you turn the cube, you'll be able to see on the first day what God created, on the second day, and all these activities that we were engaged in our craft activity took us back to see the Eden restored activity. And it was so engaging, and the kids were able to enjoy themselves. And it was a wonderful session to engage the learners, because most learners learn through seeing the pictures and even coloring and even cutting. They get involved and they won't be able to forget easily. So by doing this, it was a nice session, and God bless you.
We're good.
Okay, we thank God for this opportunity. My name is Osea Otori, and I'm privileged to be in this church, Amazing SDA Church in Siaya. We conduct a vocational Bible school for children, and I was in the class of called New Jerusalem. It was a class of handling, especially the spirit of prophecy. On our first day, maybe before I spoke about the first day, our theme for the entire week has been Eden, our redemption story, and we were reminding ourselves concerning creation and what Jesus did for us and what He's doing for us even now. And we saw very clearly that when you read the book of Psalms, chapter 3, verse 6 and 9, the Bible says, by the word of The Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them, by the breath of his mouth. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. So that has been our theme the entire week, that Jesus created all this world by speaking. When we live in a world whereby everybody has decided to forget that we were created, when everybody is grumbling upon evolution, we thank God for the opportunity to remind, especially the young generation, that they are not a product of chance, but rather they are a product of wonderful and masterful design, and that is that we were made in the image of our Lord and our Savior Jesus Christ. So in our class, New Jerusalem, we were looking at, in day one, we looked at the three angels' messages, which of course, the first angel reminds us to worship the Creator. The second angel wants us not to be drunk with the false wine of Babylon, and that's also our false teachings. And then the third angel wants us not to worship the beast. And then on day two, we learned about the shaking and the close of probation, whereby we saw that there are people inside the church, the true church of God, who will not be following the teachings that are in the Bible. And as Jesus is ongoing with the sealing work, these people will not be accepting the truth of the Bible. They will fall away, they will be shaken out of the church. And that is what we saw. And as they are being shaken out of the church, many, the spirit of prophecy tells us that there will be many. But others also, many will join the church, and then they receive the seal of God, and then probation will close. Then on day 3, we were learning about the time of trouble. In the book of Daniel 12 verse 1, the Bible records saying, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time." So the time of trouble that is coming before us, it's the great time of trouble. And we were looking at that, we saw that very clearly that this time of trouble will be undergone by those, especially the wicked. The children of God who have chosen to obey him will be saved in the mountains and the nations of rocks. But the wicked will be undergoing this time of trouble. And also we saw that the 7 last plagues will be upon them. And as they are going through this time of trouble, as Michael is standing up, we have finished with the judgment. Probation is closed, now he's preparing to come. So that ushers us today for whereby we learned about the second coming of Jesus Christ. And this is where also we discovered that so many people are deceived about the second coming of Jesus Christ. We have heard of so many unbiblical theories like the coming of Jesus is secret, and Jesus is busy even now taking some people. We also got to say that there are people who believe that when you die, you go to heaven, and some believe that when you die, you go to hell. And we saw that those are unbiblical teachings. But we saw, if I have to summarize the second coming of Jesus Christ, it will be a worldwide event. It will be a noisy event. It will be a cataclysmic event. And also when Jesus comes, he will not set foot on the ground. We shall meet him in the air. And also when he comes with all his angels. So when we have people in the world claiming that they are Jesus Christ, maybe the question we should be asking them, where are your angels? Because that's a falsehood. And so as Jesus comes, he's dealing with 4 groups. One is the righteous living, then we have also the righteous dead. Then now we have the wicked living and the wicked dead. When as Jesus comes, the righteous dead are resurrected and they join the righteous living along with Jesus. The wicked living are destroyed by the brightness of his coming, and they join the living dead and they will be just dead. Then they will remain here. The righteous will go with Jesus. They will be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, and they will go with Jesus to stay with him for a period of 1,000 years. And that brings us to a close of what we learned in the Safite, whereby we saw that we were discussing about the millennium, what shall be happening during the 1,000 years. where the Bible records in the book of Revelation 20, we read from verse 1 all the way to verse 8. And the Bible says that during the 1,000 years, all the righteous shall be in heaven, and all the wicked will be dead. Some of them will just be on the ground because nobody is there to bury them. As the righteous are in heaven, so Satan and his angels will be roaming in this world. They'll be beholding the results of sin. They'll be contemplating what sin has done to the beautiful creation of God during those 1,000 years. The Bible says that Satan will be chained in a bottomless pit. This bottomless pit is not some hole that is dug on the ground and then Satan is chained with some physical chain, but rather it's a chain of circumstances whereby Satan will be left alone in this world, having nobody to deceive for a period of 1,000 years. That's what we call that he'll be in a prison. And as the righteous are in heaven, we got to discover that there are three surprises that are waiting for us in heaven. One, we shall marvel that we, and I believe I will be there, that we have made it to be in heaven. Then also, number two, there are people we expect to be in heaven, and it will be a marvel that we don't see them there. Let me take an example. We know very well that David was righteous. Suppose we get to heaven and then you are looking for David and you are told he's not there. So that is a question that we have to scrutinize and got to know why he's not there. Maybe it's a family friend, maybe it's my spouse who will not be there in heaven. I want to know, why did I make it there and why is my spouse not there? So that's the second surprise. Then surprise number three, there are people we don't expect to see in heaven, but then we shall see in heaven. And I want to take an example. We know very well that Judas was a sinner even to the point of his death. His probation was lost. He will not be in heaven. But surprise of surprises, you will meet Judas in heaven. You'll want to know why he made it there. I'm not saying that Judas will be in heaven, but I'm saying that, take an example that you meet him in heaven. You'll want to know, how did he make it to be in heaven? Suppose you meet people like Goliath in heaven. You want to know, how did it come? Does God choose who is to be saved and who is to be lost? So these are the questions we shall be tackling throughout the 1,000 years, and God will give us the opportunity to look at the books of records, not really to pass judgment, but rather to see that his judgment is fair and just. So when the 1,000 years are expired, all of us, the righteous in heaven, shall be gathered into the new Jerusalem, and then we shall be descending again. Now Jesus Christ is coming the third time, and the third time is coming with the righteous and all his angels again in the new Jerusalem. And as they are coming, the Bible says that Satan is released from his prison. When you read the book of Revelation 20, verse 7 and 8. And what releases him from this prison is, from this chain of circumstances, the prison of circumstances, is that now there are people to deceive. That's why the Bible says, I believe in verse 6, that the rest of the dead live not until their 1,000 years were expired. So prior to the third coming of Jesus Christ, the wicked dead will be resurrected. And as they are resurrected now, Satan has an opportunity. That's why he released from his prison. Because remember, what put him in prison in the first place was that there were no people to deceive. Now that he has people to deceive, he will go again. In verse 8, the Bible records, he will go from one nation to another, all the ends of the earth. The Bible calls it Gog and Magog. And then he will deceive them. And I believe one of the utmost ways he will deceive these people is that he will be claiming that he is the one who has resurrected them. But Satan has no power to resurrect anybody. It's Jesus who has power to resurrect. And so as he claims this, he deceives them and he tells them to gather. As they see the New Jerusalem be descending, it's not a big city. When you look at the map of Africa, just below Kenya, or that's how big Jerusalem is. And so as the new city is descending and Satan looks and sees it's very small, And remember the wicked on this earth all the way from creation, those who died in the flood, up to now. The Bible says they are as the sand of the sea, they cannot be numbered. So the Satan manages to marshal them. The generals, those wicked generals we have had all throughout the history, with all the artillery, the nuclear weapons, and all kinds of armaments and all kinds of technology, and they will want to attack that city. But the good news is that Jesus will rain fire from heaven, and it will destroy all of them. Hellfire is not really per se a punishment, but rather it's an expression of love from Jesus Christ. Because Jesus does not desire that people should live forever and forever while sinning. He does not desire that we live forever and forever. Maybe you have cancer and the effects of sin are such like diseases. You have diseases forever and forever. So hellfire is an expression of the love of Jesus. And then the Bible says that this hellfire will burn forever. The expression forever, when you burn charcoal in a jiko, the charcoal burns as you are cooking. The charcoal burns until it becomes ash. So everything will burn until it becomes ash. When you read the book of Malachi, chapter 40, verse 1, and also in verse 3, that's what the Bible says. And when something burns to ash, it does not continue burning. And the person who will burn the longest is the devil himself, because he's the originator of sin. Then out of those ashes, God will step on those ashes, and those righteous, who are we are righteous, we shall behold Jesus again, creating a new heaven and a new earth. Then this earth shall be given to the saints, and we shall dwell with Jesus forever and forever and forever, knowing no end, knowing no sorrow, knowing no pain, knowing no tears, and knowing no death. And indeed, it was a wonderful our redemption story. May God bless you.
My names are Judith Nyagucha Miregwa, also call me Mrs. Omondi. I come from Savannah Church, which is in Kamulu, all the way to Machakos. In the Eden Redemption VBS, I was handling the Tree of Life, which is the health snack station. When the kids come to my class, basically we were dealing with making snacks, referring back to Eden, whereby we really wanted to know what was God's purpose and what was His intention for the health that we should be having. So we ensured that we learned the food that God provided during creation, which comprises of fruits, seeds, and vegetables. So most of the snacks that we were making, we were using natural items that God created to encourage children that they don't have to go to the markets to buy manufactured or processed food. They can always make them from the natural available things in the community or from the markets. So we ensured that we learned about everything that has got nutrition in it. We also ensured that we learned everything that we needed that comprises health, the exercises, air, water, even temperance when eating our food. We really needed to check on our own bodies to ensure that we are healthy. So majorly we needed to check on our health and God's plan for our health from Eden. So that when He cometh, we will have a new body, but we will have learned to take care of our bodies as young children. May God bless you.
So we want to start the class. It is a game class, and I want you to build a tower using the tumblers, and I want to see the group which will have the tallest tower done in the fastest time possible. Sawa sawa. So group 2 will be this side, and group 1 will be this side. 1, 2, start. Yeah, the camera. Sasa wewe soka. Yeah, unataka face the camera.
Hey!
In the church and the different places where they can be meeting with different children and that will help them to evangelize. As the Church of the Seventh-day Adventist, we have this school most of during holiday vacations, so that our children cannot be taken away by the worldly activities. And that is why you can see our young children and even the elderly ones coming to be taught together by our teachers, just according to what is written in some of our books. Like as I read one of our books, written as a Christian service, it is written before the young people. When you look at what Ellen White gave us in testimonies and in book education and even other different books that he wrote, I want to read some of the points that he put aside. That is pushing us leaders to see that the test is actively and effectively done. One, the Lord has appointed the youth to be his helping hand, because the Lord wants the youth to be his helping hand because of the energy they have, and the children also are needed to be his helping hand, because whatever is given or is taught a child will not come out of it. And that is why Ellen White was saying, with such an army of workers as our youth and children, rightly trained, might furnish the message of soon coming of Jesus Christ and the crucified, risen, and the Savior, and the soon coming might be carried to the whole world. Yani, they can take this message, the crucified Jesus, the risen Jesus, and the soon coming Savior. And this might make the world understand and know more about Jesus. Now the world is now a bit different. And what our children are seeing in different places, in TVs, in phones, and in the community, if they are not well taught, I don't think our society will be a fun society, a society that will understand and know about God. And that is why we have an army of youth today who can do much if they are properly directed and encouraged. That is our work as leaders, to direct them well, to encourage them well, even though we live in a world where there is a lot of calamities, what expressions they are seeing, even at their home, and even in the society where we live. So when they are directed well and encouraged, they can be much important in the evangelism. And that is why we want our children to believe the truth also, because the truth comes from the Bible. And what they are being taught in different places, in schools, what they see in the Facebooks and everywhere where they move, is not the reality, is not the truth about the gospel, it's not the truth about Jesus. We want them to be blessed of God. And for that purpose, we want them to act as part of the well-organized plan for helping other youths also. They must help other youths after they have been taught. These young people, the children, when they go and talk about what they are taught in their houses to their parents might also have some questions that they can ask us as leaders of the church, because what the children are taught here might bring even the others, the parents in the church. Let all be so trained that they might rightly present the truth, giving the reasons for the hope that is within them, and honoring God in any branch of work, of school, of place where they are. That is our role as leaders. And that is why we see during the holidays, this church really try to make a VDM, Bible Vocational School, to be effective. And I want to encourage other churches or within SDA churches to encourage this so that our children can be